Joining us is the independent analyst, Evan Lucas. Evan, good morning. So the leap day could add $6.6 billion to the economy. How so?
Yeah, so this is KPMG's expectations. I'm actually going to sort of take more of the consensus, and that is that on average, the Australian economy generates between $6 and $6.8 billion a day. So their expectation is 6.6. We'll take that as you will. The reason it matters is that if we compare last year's quarter to this year's quarter, we have an extra day to make up. And why that matters, KPMG, again, are a little bit more pessimistic than the expectation, but they are forecasting, like a fair amount of others, that we could actually see next Wednesday's GDP for the fourth quarter of last year's calendar to actually go into negative territory. And therefore, if we were to do it again this quarter, we would fall into a technical recession. So that extra $6.6 billion, according to KPMG, may be enough to keep us out because we get an extra day to compare ourselves to this time last year. That's what they're alluding to. The other question they ask is that there is some people saying, do we actually work today for free, considering that we have an annual salary? And this year we've got 366 days rather than 365. You don't, because the way that your HR system will work out, it looks at your sick leave with the amount of hours you work. It'll also look at your holiday hours that you have to get added to with the amount of days that you work. And it's like a 30-day versus a 31-day month. You'll have an extra day's month pay on that 29th day we have today.
Now growing concerns that GDP could contract. Is that right?
Yes. So there is growing concerns on a per capita basis, which is where you strip out things like migration, and that we will. Almost all economists forecast that the fourth quarter will actually contract. The question is whether or not the actual GDP figure, the headline figure, does as well. Signs in the final quarter of last year were that things were starting to really slow down. So if you look at retail sales in December, down 2.7%, unemployment started to tick up. We hadn't got the wage boost that we've just seen completely filtering through. And overall, particularly household consumption, was the one area that they're really saying may be the drag. Government spending also eased off in the final quarter. So all of those taken together means that next Wednesday's GDP is going to be fascinating, because it also means the RBA now has to be asked questions. Is it just about inflation, or do they have to do their three mandates, which is inflation, so price stability, the prosperity of Australia's population, and full employment? Prosperity is the one now. Could that actually flick them earlier than when inflation gets back into the 2 to 3% handle?
Okay.